Hello, this is Roland Korshidian-Zada. Welcome to the latest episode of To the Edge. With me today are guests who were involved with the Bridgewater State University Campus Movie Fest as well as California. With me is Ashley Martins and Emily Cohn.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good, and yourself?
Good, thank you.
What can you tell us about the Campus Movie Fest?
Well, how it originated, at first initially we didn't know what CMF was. We were working on a class project and we had to produce a 2-minute short. So we had produced that, and then our professor, I love him to death, Mike Russo, he encouraged us to enter into the competition. He said, your piece qualifies as a social justice piece. So that's how it had started, and that's how it launched off.
So a social justice, you mean that someone's been wronged and this is about a socially relevant topic?
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, just like our topic was just people in college and like the struggles that they go through. Like my character was a victim of domestic abuse. Ashley's character had an eating disorder. Another character questioned his sexuality, and then our fourth character just was dealing with the struggles and pressures of college with the workload and whatnot.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes.
Yep, so it just made it relatable to other college kids. So.
And this was a 2-minute film?
Yep.
Yep, a little, probably slightly over 2 minutes, but yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot to put into 2 minutes.
It was.
Well, we did actually, the strategy that we used, we didn't have any dialogue. It was all shots, and we did a lot of like symbolism. We did a lot of extreme close-ups to like represent our characters and what they were going through. For instance, we had a really strong shot of Emily where we just zoomed in. She had a compact. She was in an abusive relationship, so she was trying to cover up the makeup, cover up the bruises on her face. So she had her foundation, and we actually got a really interesting shot of her reflection in the compact mirror. So we would do a lot of things like that.
Yeah, just really creative shots to tell the story, because when there's no dialogue, it's hard, but we didn't want there to be a dialogue because we wanted just to be up for interpretation and relate to anyone's situation.
Right, it all has to do with how you convey the performance.
Yes.
And if you can send the message visually, you don't really need the dialogue.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
So I know that you were provided with equipment like editing equipment, camera equipment. How about makeup?
She was the makeup artist.
My sister's the makeup artist, so I've learned everything from her, and she told me what colors to use, how to set up the black eye, everything. So I did my black eye and my regular face makeup for that, but everybody else, I mean, they didn't really need makeup or anything like that. It was just, I don't know, that was really the only thing that we needed to be physically done. So.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just like a morning run. That's how it started off. Because we were all college students at the university, and it was like a morning run. So I mean, you don't necessarily need as much makeup. What I really liked that we did at the end, and this wasn't really planned at first. When we ran, we kind of like intersected paths, and then we decided, why don't we do that at the end, where we kind of all meet at one point, and then go our own separate ways. So I think that was like a symbolism of
because I mean the shots initially start off with each character running, and then it goes to flashbacks as to why they are running, and then so at the end when we all like come together, it's just goes to show you that you never really know what a person's going through, and that you can be around so many people and everyone has their own struggles, and you just never know. So just like, I don't know, just everyone being on campus, they all have different issues, but even if it's not talked about, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah,
it's true. When you're on campus and you see someone, you ask, hi, how are you doing? And the default answer is, oh, I'm fine, or what's going on? Nothing much.
Right,
Doesn't tell you anything.
And I think too, like with not to bring in social media, but a lot of people like on Facebook, they kind of project this image of themselves that's always positive, a lot of the times, and it's not necessarily the case. So we wanted just to bring, the topic aware that people are struggling, and you can reach out for help. Yeah, there's other people going through the same thing. So there's like that level of empathy.
You have other resources and just outlets to help you with whatever you're going through. So.
On the opposite end, on Facebook, you have people who are constantly complaining about their lives.
Yeah,
and they create drama where there isn't.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, some people share too much.
Yeah.
And then some people don't share anything. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pendulum. It swings both ways.
Yeah.
So what are you running from that generated enough interest and enough critical acclaim that you eventually went on to California.
Yes.
Yeah, because we won at the school for Best Social Justice, and then this was the first year that they were sending social justices from schools to go and be at the finals and be at the ceremony and the award show. So that was really cool that we like made it for the first time, and this was just a class project, and it just turned into something so much more, and like we just, I don't know, we never thought that that would happen.
Yeah, we never really thought that would happen. We actually had to reshoot everything too,
Yes.
because when you're submitting to the CMF, you can't use like previously filmed footage. So
Oh, wow.
we had to reshoot everything, which was actually to our advantage, because from the first time we shot, we knew, you know, the locations, we scouted locations, we knew what kind of shots we wanted to produce. So we kind of like critiqued our first project, and from there we produced even a better piece.
Yeah.
So I think honestly that was to our advantage.
Yeah, it was definitely. Our shots were definitely better the second time around. However, I wish we had the same music from the original,
Oh,
because that was really powerful, and the music that we had, it was fine, but it just didn't give that emotional connection that the first one did. Because of copyright issues, we couldn't use it.
Oh.
So because now this wasn't just for educational purposes, it was for, you know, it was going to be put out there and viewed and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, in the film industry, it's important to know as many different people in as many different departments as possible. Recently on Facebook, a musical composer got in touch with me asking me if he could help out with any of my projects, and I told him, well, I'm not doing any projects right now, but I will be directing my own stuff in the future, and I knew other people I could refer him to, so if I'd known about this, I could have referred him to you.
Oh, that's
been
okay,
wonderful,
yeah. Thank you, though, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like she said, I felt like from the first film, the music really set the tone, and it really it really all meshed together very well.
Yeah.
But I mean, altogether, I was very proud of both pieces, and we did very well. Yeah, we qualified at the regional level for Best Social Justice. And like Emily was saying, that is a sponsor category, so it's different from the other categories.
The whole process of making a film is great, from producing and camera work and editing and just everything from beginning to end. It's challenging but rewarding. So.
Oh, it is, because you're just like, you're immersed in every stage of production. So I mean, you feel so involved, and then, you know, to have an idea and to bring it to life, it's just amazing to see it before your eyes.
Definitely.
So I think that's the most rewarding part of you know, producing and directing, is just taking something on paper and then making it, you know, like almost like an emotional wave.
The second time you did What Are You Running From, did you find that having a chance to do it the second time really improved the performances, or did you think about,
Yeah.
did it improve the
think so.
cinematography?
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
certainly.
Yeah, like our shots were, I thought they were great for class purposes, but we just like really critiqued it and just made it better for the second time around, and we had to put statistics in order for it to be qualified as social justice. So we had us like up against like a whiteboard or something like that, or a white background, and like we like in editing, like he put in like what is it, like statistics on just each cases, like how many people are victims of domestic abuse, like how many people have eating disorders, stuff like that.
So it's still underneath the educational umbrella, even though you're shooting for social relevance.
Yep, with social justice, you kind of have to have like some type of statistic to kind of relate it back to what you're trying to say. So that's why we incorporated that into our piece. I also want to mention, unfortunately, some of our team members couldn't be here today. So that includes Alex, Mark, and Lorenz, because we couldn't have done this without them. So I just wanted to give them a shout out as well.
Definitely.
Because we all, that's what I think too. Alex, she was the original producer for this piece.
She wrote the piece.
Yes. And then I think we all really brought something to our characters, especially like you were asking the difference between the first and the second time. I think I really got to know my character, and there was even a point where I, for one of the shots for the second time around I wanted to like have my character looking in a mirror, because she was battling issues with herself and her looks. So she had an eating disorder. So I kind of incorporated that into my character, and some of the shots that we composed was based on that. So,
yeah, it came out really great.
Yeah, because we actually, like in the mirror, there was like, with my reflection, I took like a Sharpie marker, and I would have like words written like on my face and my body. Like that's what she's thinking in her head, and I wanted to project that to the audience so they could see it. So yeah.
How long did it take to put together either version of the film?
The class version, probably what we meet only once a week.
I think once or twice. No,
Once
I think
or
twice a
twice
week.
a
yeah.
week, and so we did that within a week. But then the second time we did it, we reshot all on a Sunday,
Yeah.
like the Sunday.
all day Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it was from like 11, 12 o'clock, so around like 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
just kept going. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a 2-minute film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
don't realize how much work it takes and it entails to produce something, but it is a lot of work. But like I said before, I think we had really good group chemistry and we worked well together. So it was very nice, a very productive environment. So I was very happy at the end result.
Yes.
Enough so that you can't wait to put together another film.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we'll try to do that. So it's my last semester, next semester. So I'm going to try to do that. So hopefully get a really good team going with some kids from it last year, and so yeah.
It would be
So we'll
very
see.
nice,
So.
yeah.
How did you enjoy the acting experience?
Out in California.
Either way.
Yeah, well, we'll talk. Yeah, when we went to California, it was really exhilarating because you were kind of immersed in the culture of Hollywood, and just to be sitting aside like people who are as passionate about you and share the same interests, it really just it makes it just that much more exciting. And we also we attended workshops where we got to talk one-on-one with professionals in the industry, which was really fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very fortunate.
So you got tours of different areas and different locations. What made the strongest impression on you?
Out in California?
Yes.
There was one workshop that I liked about, it was with an actor, and he was referring like how to make it out in Hollywood and how did he start his career, which was really like insightful and kind of encouraging. And also the guy from the Blacklist.
Yes, I was just going to say that. This guy, he created the Blacklist, and it's just about people being able to upload their scripts onto a website, and they're reviewed, and feedback is given and stuff. And so he was just really inspirational, like throughout his entire speech, and he was great, very relatable. So it was just an idea that just turned into something great, and it's just has gotten so big. So just like with anything. So.
Well, that's great. There are things that I could learn from that because so far I've only been involved with film at the independent level, except for one time when I was a film with John Travolta, but I was just an extra.
That's still fun,
yeah,
though.
it is.
Good
Oh, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, at one point someone was asking me, "Oh, are you a stand-in for John Travolta?" And I should have lied.
Oh yeah, I can see it now that you said that.
But getting back to what are you running from, what was the inspiration for the story?
I would be like, well, I would think that'd be a question to ask Alex, so she's not here because she produced the piece. But I don't want to answer for her, but I would think, I guess she wanted to really raise awareness and to the public, especially to people on campus, because people do struggle, and I think that was the main target that she wanted to, the main message that she wanted to come across was, as Emily had said earlier, people are struggling and we don't know where they're going through. So you know what I mean? It's always good to like build a support system, especially people in the school, faculty, or use resources to try to reach out to other people that really are struggling and have a hard time conveying that. So
Right.
I think that was the main intent that she really wanted to get across.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I remember when I was in college, I took a speech communication course, and we all had to give speeches, and at one point we'd have to do personal speeches, and I learned so much about those classmates of mine.
Yeah.
Things I never would have thought.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that too. Even when I took a theater class, I feel like when you're communicating with people, you just especially when it's more in an intimate level like that, especially like with public speaking, you kind of are all really nervous, but then you kind of come together because you're going through the same wave of emotions.
Yeah.
So I think it becomes so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my acting experience, what I do is I just completely forget about myself, and then I'm just totally that character
Yeah.
for whatever span of time I'm playing that character. When I look into the mirror, I don't even see myself anymore. I see the character.
Oh wow, that's
good.
Method acting, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then at one point, an actress who I was driving with to screen a film that I was editing, she mentioned to me that with the acting, she said that forget about yourself, but at the same time, once you get the character, you want to channel yourself back into the character, so it looks like it's a performance channeled through you,
Yeah.
instead of you being a blank slate and then the character sort of taking over.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your approaches to acting?
I mean, I've only taken introduction courses. I haven't really acted much, though. I've always been drawn to it. I've always appreciated the entertainment industry and the arts, just because you can express yourself in so many ways. Yeah, so I'm still really green, still really rough around the edges, but I definitely want to continue. I'm starting to, work more on movie sets. I did previously 2 years ago. I worked at a local film agency, and I was an office PA. But I would also, after my shift was over, I would go, to the locations where they were shooting, and it was great to see everyone working together. And that's when I really knew, like, this is the industry I wanted to be in, and I kind of want to be around those people. And it's like, to me, it's not work. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess I just take from my own personal experiences and just channel that for emotional reasons and stuff, so just to convey those emotions for the character. But yeah, so that's really all I do. So I just try to go there and try to forget, like, about everything else, so.
Yeah, very true, yeah. What she said too.
So
yeah,
you go for method acting as well.
Yeah,
No, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do things that you normally wouldn't do, or act a certain way you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. It gives us opportunities to be people we would never be and all that stuff. So, and that's fun. So it's interesting. It's, yeah, like Ashley said, it's really not work if you think about it. So.
No, not at all. I mean, I can spend 20 hours on a film set and have no problem at all.
Right.
But a regular job, it's like after 5 hours, I'm like, I'm done. Let this end, please.
Yeah. Yeah,
Definitely.
and it doesn't, like when it doesn't feel like work, you're working too on set for like 12 hours a day. But I mean, you really enjoy what you're doing, especially if you're directing and you really want to produce something, that's really going to speak volumes to a lot of people. You want to be around that. That's why I love utilizing my experiences from internships, because like I said earlier, you're around people that are really passionate about what they're doing, and you learn from them just by observing. You learn so much. You don't even need to be, an extra acting or not even doing anything on set. Just observing, the chemistry between different people. It's so fascinating to see.
So in the future, are you more interested in being in front of the camera, behind, or both?
I kind of want to be like a jack of all trades. I like both. I've always leaned more towards on camera, but I also like producing as well. So I think both. I really, at first I initially was just, I want to be in front of the camera, but I wouldn't mind crossing over and doing producing.
I love producing.
Yeah.
For instance, this show.
Yeah.
And I'm also the editor.
I love writing too, so.
Yeah.
How about you, Emily?
I like behind the camera work. I like both, but I always wanted to be in front of the camera until I took these courses at Bridgewater. Like I really never knew the opportunities that I had and what came with learning those kinds of skills. So once I learned from those 2 classes, because of Mike Russo and Jim Moore, they just changed my whole game for me. So I really would like to do documentaries and stuff like that. But then my dream job would be being a correspondent for E! News, working red carpets and stuff. So I know way too much about pop culture. So I just would love to. I feel like at that job I would be doing what I love, and so it wouldn't be work. So
me too. I'm kind of in the same boat as her. We kind of sure we're aligned with some of the same passions.
Yep, that's how we connected.
Hosting the Emmy Awards, the Academy Awards.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, just asking people what are they wearing, just about the films they were in and participated in. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when they review the wardrobes and you see the different couples together, and then they go into the films.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like it would just be fun. So yeah.
And I feel like too, starting off with you, even you're doing broadcast media, you can kind of cross over into film and acting and television, so they kind of are all interrelated in some way.
Yeah, because now co-hosts, they're their own brand. Juliana Rancic, she's so popular now. Not only she's the co-host of E! News, but she does Fashion Police. She has a wine collection coming out, and she has a clothing line, and just all these things. So you can really brand yourself, and you don't have to just be in front of the camera to be a celebrity anymore. So, which is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. In fact, this show is how I got involved with films in the first place. I was looking for guests, and they were filmmakers, and then through them I became involved with films.
Yeah, it's all about who you know. It really is.
Yeah. And one thing I took away from CMF that I would like to mention, especially for the viewers, what I really learned from a lot of the professionals, you don't have to necessarily be in California where all the work is. Because with social media, you can produce your own work and upload it on YouTube. There's so many new ways to get discovered. And actually, they said in Atlanta, Georgia, they're producing a lot of films and television shows there. So
it's cheaper out there to do it than in Hollywood.
So that's something that was eye-opening to me as well, because I always thought, oh, move to California.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. You kind of want to work your way up. So I think establishing the resources, networking, doing what you do, like this show is great. You know, it's a launching pad to greater things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Boston's really starting to take off. We have New England studios where you can rent out the space and produce films. You've got the independent filmmakers in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, etc. And you have the exposure online. Who really needs to be regional anymore?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure for us, California is our long-term goal, but starting out in Georgia or even New York or Boston is just more financially reasonable at this point in our lives. So something like that, and then maybe California later on in life. But it's nice that you don't have to go there anymore to really be successful, so you don't have to make the move.
Well, I think another advantage is you can show different types of films that maybe California is afraid to pursue because they don't know if it'll tank or not.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they're all about profit.
You have those huge $300 million tentpole films.
Yeah.
So you see like a lot of independent films like Juno becoming so successful. So so you know what I mean. That's why I like about independent films. People explore different topics. I feel like Hollywood sometimes, especially now, they're remaking a lot of classics. So I feel like there's kind of like they've lost that sense of like being original. So that's why I kind of really like independent films as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. Yeah.
getting back to the Campus Movie Fest, you had help from Student Affairs, and what can you tell us about that?
Yes, Ed Cabellin, he is in charge of CMF for Bridgewater. He's the one that went out to California with us. He's the one that runs it on Bridgewater campus, and he's just so great and just so nice and just a great connection to have, and he just made the trip so enjoyable and so much fun, and he's just such a great person to know and just to have in your corner. So he's very supportive of us and all the kids at the school, so he's just a great.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah.
I mean, him being there. I mean, guiding us throughout the whole experience at CMF, because we've never been there before. So
Yeah.
he was just so supportive, and I thank him so much. And I also wanted to mention, we didn't win for Best Social Justice. However, Bridgewater did take home Best Actress and Best Director for Stetson Street, and they won Best
Okay.
Drama at Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So you may want to get in contact with them as well and interview them about their experience. But
All right.
yeah, so we were very proud. We left with something, so it was great. Either way, even though we didn't win, the experience in itself was, I think,
And I
the
mean,
best
also
thing,
for the university, it's huge for the appeal, and like all of us that have done CMF, we've all learned from the same teachers. So it's just these skills and tools that they've taught us, and then we put it to real use, and it's a really great reflection on them as well.
Oh,
so
Yeah.
it was great.
And we also, because they paid for some of the members to attend CMF, which was very nice, because Bridgewater, taking on that, because a lot of people are financially, have a lot of burdens. So
Yeah, they're students.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
students.
exactly.
And I was surprised to see that not many other universities really paid for
Yeah.
students to go out to California.
I think we had the biggest group too that was there. Was there
Yeah.
12 of us?
There was a lot of us.
I think
yeah.
11 or
That
12 of
represented
us.
the school.
And yeah, like people were shocked, and they were like, "Oh, how many people are you here with?" And we're like, "Oh, like 12." And they were
Yeah.
like, "What?" And they they were in awe of it, and we're very thankful that the school was able to do that and support us. So that was great.
It was unfortunate because some of the students that had won in different categories
Yeah.
didn't even attend because they couldn't afford to
it.
come on down to California. So we're
That's too
very,
bad.
very grateful.
Yes.
But that
Absolutely.
answered my question that I had earlier about how many people were actually attending on representing Bridgewater.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had one from each category, or you had a group from each category?
I believe Best Picture had 4 people from their category: Connor, Henry.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else I can't think of?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
drawing
having a blank spot right now.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
then everybody else had 2 people from each other film
But
that went.
I ended
so.
up, there was 3 from our group because I ended up paying my way because financially I could afford it. So I wanted to go either way, so I had that in the back of my mind. But yeah, anyone can attend CMF, like in your group, even though they pay for only a certain amount of people to go. Of course, the whole group can attend. And
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely go out there and join the group and stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I know some parents came out with their kids, and that was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great experience. Just learned a lot. So
some people go there for networking opportunities
Yeah.
too. That's what we found out. And I didn't even realize that some people pay, for the CMF badge, just to go to the workshops. So that's always something to consider too.
yeah.
Definitely always network. When I go to an
Oh
event,
yeah.
Yep.
I always
Networking's
consider that.
huge.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's everything now because it's it's who you know. So yeah,
I have a huge book of business cards now.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
that's the way to start. And then you never know. You meet someone, and then they know someone, and then you get
Yeah.
a job. That's how it's funny. That's how one of my internships was. I interned at WPRI, and then I met someone there, and then that's how I got my other internship was through a connection I made at WPRI. So you never really know who you're going to meet and come across paths with. So
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's all the time that we have. Thank you for watching To The Edge, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks
you
for
for having
having
us.
us. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.